They were America's sweetheart smiling faces lighting up TV screens across the nation. But behind the fame and fortune lay stories of pressure, exploitation, and pain. From the glitz of Hollywood to the loneliness of the spotlight, many child stars of the 1970s paid a heartbreaking price for their early fame. In this video, we uncover the untold truths, the contracts, the stage parents, the struggles with identity, and the lasting scars that fame left behind. This is Broken Childhoods, the tragic lives of 1970s child stars. Let's take a look behind the curtain. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. News 1. Anissa Jones, a childhood stolen by fame. She was only 6 when Hollywood came calling. Anissa Jones, with her innocent eyes and effortless charm, was cast as Buffy on the hit TV show Family Affair, instantly becoming one of the most beloved child stars of the 1960s and early 70s. To the outside world, she was living the dream. Famous, successful, adored by millions. But behind the curtain, that dream was quietly turning into a nightmare. Anissa endured long days on set, adult-level responsibilities, and the pressure to perform, all before she even turned 10. While other children played and learned, Anissa worked. She smiled for the cameras, but few noticed how much it was costing her. When Family Affair ended in 1971, Anissa was just 13. Hollywood moved on, but Anissa was left behind. She received no new roles, no guidance, and no support on how to navigate life after fame. Her identity, built entirely around being Buffy, was suddenly meaningless in a world that no longer wanted her. Her home life offered little comfort. With divorced parents and ongoing instability, she faced her teenage years alone and unprepared. The rigid schedules that once kept her in line were gone, replaced by confusion, pain, and the pull of dangerous freedom. By 18, Anissa had fallen deep into drug use. On August 28, 1976, she was found dead from a massive overdose. The coroner's report listed cocaine, PCP, Quaaludes, and Seconal, one of the most lethal drug combinations ever recorded in Ventura County. Anissa Jones never got a second chance. Her story stands as a haunting example of what happens when a child's fame is prioritized over their future. She wasn't just a star, she was a child, and one the world failed to protect. News 2. Dana Plato, a star who couldn't find her way home. Dana Plato lit up television screens in the late 1970s as Kimberly Drummond on Diff'rent Strokes, the sweet, caring older sister on a show that broke ground and captured hearts. As a teen star, she seemed to have it all: fame, beauty, and a promising future. But behind the scenes, Dana was already beginning to unravel. The end of Diff'rent Strokes marked a turning point, not just in her career but in her life. Hollywood, as it often does, had no place for her once she aged out of her teen image. Struggling to reinvent herself, Dana faced rejection after rejection. She turned to drugs and alcohol, a growing dependency that would shadow her for the rest of her life. In the early 90s, her struggles became public. She was arrested for robbing a video store with a pellet gun, a desperate act that made headlines and marked a steep fall from her sitcom fame. A year later, she posed for Playboy in an effort to revive her career, but the industry never truly welcomed her back. Despite her attempts at recovery, Dana never fully escaped the pain that fame and its absence left behind. On May 8, 1999, she died from a drug overdose at just 34 years old. Her death was ruled a suicide. Dana Plato's story is one of unmet potential, relentless judgment, and emotional isolation. Her legacy isn't just that of a troubled child star. It's a window into the darker reality so many young actors face once the spotlight fades. She wasn't weak. She was lost in a system that praised her as a child and abandoned her as an adult. Dana wanted to be more than a footnote in TV history, but the world didn't make space for her to grow. News 3. Mackenzie Phillips, a life shaped by fame, addiction, and survival. Mackenzie Phillips was born into fame. the daughter of the Mamas and the Papas frontman John Phillips. From the outside, it looked like a charmed life. She landed a breakout role as teenager Julie Cooper on the hit sitcom One Day at a Time, becoming a symbol of the youth culture of the late 1970s. But behind the bright lights and applause was a world of chaos that most never saw. By the age of 11, Mackenzie had already tried cocaine, introduced to drugs by the people who were supposed to protect her. Growing up in a rock and roll household filled with parties, dysfunction, and blurred boundaries, her childhood quickly turned into a toxic haze of addiction and emotional confusion. As her fame grew, so did her drug use. On the set of One Day at a Time, her behavior became increasingly erratic. She was fired, rehired, and fired again, all while battling an addiction that consumed her youth. Her struggles were no secret. Tabloids followed every fall from grace. But the most disturbing revelation came years later, when she publicly disclosed an incestuous relationship with her father, a secret that shocked even a world hardened by Hollywood scandals. Mackenzie's life became a battle for survival, not just from addiction, but from the emotional wreckage left by her childhood. She spent years in and out of rehab, fighting to reclaim her identity from the chaos that defined her early life. Today, Mackenzie Phillips is sober. She works as a counselor, using her pain to help others find healing. Her story is no longer just about addiction or scandal. It's about resilience. Still, her journey remains a painful reminder of how fame, family dysfunction, and addiction often collide in destructive ways, especially when they begin in childhood. Mackenzie didn't just survive the dark side of celebrity. She exposed it, and now shines a light for others trying to escape it. News 4. Todd Bridges, a survivor in the shadow of fame. Todd Bridges was just a child when he became a household name. As Willis Jackson on the hit sitcom Diff'rent strokes, he brought charm, humor, and heart to living rooms across America. But behind the scenes, the success that seemed to promise everything was quietly dismantling his life. Fame came fast, and so did the consequences. Like many child stars, Todd didn't have the tools to cope with the pressure, the attention, or the lack of true guidance. When the show ended, he faced what so many young actors do, a world that no longer needed him, but had never prepared him for life without the spotlight. The years that followed were brutal. Todd fell deep into cocaine and crack addiction, struggling to find his place in a world that once adored him. Arrest after arrest followed, including a highly publicized accusation of attempted murder in 1989. Though he was acquitted, the damage to his reputation was profound. At times, it looked like his story would follow the same tragic arc as his Diff'rent Strokes co-stars Dana Plato and Gary Coleman. But somehow, Todd survived. He entered rehab. He relapsed. He got arrested again. But over time, something changed. Todd slowly, painfully rebuilt his life. He got clean. He started speaking out about addiction, childhood trauma, and the dangers of fame without support. Against all odds, he found a way forward. Today, Todd Bridges stands as a rare story of survival from a cast marked by tragedy. But even in his redemption, the scars remain. His journey wasn't clean or easy. It was messy, public, and often heartbreaking. Todd's legacy is complex. He is both a cautionary tale and a symbol of resilience, a child star who spiraled and somehow survived the fall. In a world that often forgets its fallen stars, Todd Bridges reminds us what it means to fight, not for fame, but for your life. News 5. Danny Bonaduce, from child star to a life of turmoil and triumph. Danny Bonaduce captured the hearts of America as the mischievous middle child on the Partridge Family. With his curly hair and cheeky grin, he seemed destined for stardom. But behind the laughter and the camera flashes, Danny was living a very different reality, one marked by pain, abuse, and chaos. His early years were shaped by a deeply troubled family life. Danny was physically and emotionally abused by his father. a trauma that left lasting scars. Despite the success of the Partridge family, the pain at home continued. The protective bubble of fame couldn't shield him from the harshness behind closed doors. As Danny moved into adulthood, the wounds began to manifest in self-destructive ways. He fell into drug addiction, struggling to escape the demons of his past. His life spiraled into chaos, marked by homelessness, multiple arrests, and public breakdowns. For years, Danny's story seemed to be heading toward tragedy, but his journey was not defined by darkness alone. Over time, Danny fought back. He sought help, battled addiction, and gradually rebuilt his life. His later success as a radio personality showed a man who could reclaim his narrative and find purpose beyond childhood fame. Danny Bonaduce's life serves as a powerful reminder of the hidden costs of child stardom. Behind the bright lights and applause often lies a child struggling with trauma and neglect. His story highlights how toxic parenting and a lack of emotional support can derail even the most promising lives. Today, Danny is often cited as an example, not just of the dangers child stars face, but of the possibility of redemption. His life is a testament to survival, resilience, and the ongoing fight to heal from a broken past. New 6. Leif Garrett, a teen idol. Lost to fame and addiction, Leif Garrett was the poster child of 1970s teen idol culture. With his dreamy looks and smooth voice, he captured the hearts of millions of teenage girls and became a pop sensation almost overnight. Marketed as the next big star, Leif's career skyrocketed. Yet beneath the glitz and glamour of teen stardom, a darker story was unfolding. Though he was catapulted to fame at a young age, Leif was ill-prepared for the weight of it all. Fame, as it often does, came quickly, and with it came intense pressure, expectations, and a loss of control. By his early teens, he was already using drugs, and heroin became his escape. What started as a way to cope with the pressures of being a teen idol soon spiraled into a full-blown addiction. The damage was deep and widespread. In 1979, Leif was involved in a tragic car accident that left his close friend, actor and musician, Roland Winkler, paralyzed. The incident further tarnished Leif's reputation and pushed him deeper into a world of self-destruction. His battles with heroin, rehab stints, and brushes with the law became a regular part of his story, overshadowing his musical career and teen idol status. For years, Leif seemed trapped in a cycle of addiction, arrest, and recovery, unable to break free from the grips of fame that had once promised him everything. Leif Garrett's life, though far from over, became a cautionary tale of the dangers of early fame. His story highlights the brutal reality that many child stars face: exploitation by the industry, and a lack of support when the spotlight fades. Leif's downfall was not just a personal tragedy, it was a reflection of how young performers are often pushed into stardom without the tools to navigate it. Today, Leif's legacy remains one of caution, a reminder of the fragility of youth in an industry that consumes its stars. New 7. Tatum O'Neal. An Oscar winner's struggle with fame, addiction, and family turmoil. Tatum O'Neal's rise to fame was nothing short of extraordinary. At just 10 years old, she became the youngest person to ever win an Academy Award for her role in Paper Moon. The world marveled at her incredible talent, and it seemed that she had everything going for her. A brilliant future ahead, and a career set for stardom. But for Tatum, success came with a heavy price. While the world celebrated her achievements, her personal life was far from perfect. Growing up in the glare of Hollywood's spotlight, Tatum's family life was far from stable. Her relationship with her father, actor Ryan O'Neal, was tumultuous, marked by public arguments, estrangement, and emotional distance. Tatum's struggles were not just with fame, but with a dysfunctional family dynamic that left her emotionally scarred. As she moved into adulthood, the pressure of early fame, coupled with unresolved family issues, led her down a destructive path. Addiction, particularly to drugs, took hold of Tatum, and she became a familiar name in tabloid headlines for her legal troubles and personal battles. Despite her efforts to regain control, her life became a series of relapses and recovery attempts, with little stability. Tatum O'Neal's story represents the painful disconnect between early success and emotional maturity. While her talent was undeniable, the emotional tools needed to navigate a career in Hollywood were never fully developed. The lack of support, coupled with the weight of family dysfunction, made it nearly impossible for Tatum to lead a normal life. Today, Tatum's legacy is a cautionary tale, one that reminds us how quickly fame can outpace a child's ability to handle it. She represents the tragic gap between fame and emotional health, especially in a world that often values talent over well-being. News 8. Bridgette Andersen, the lost promise of a child star. Bridgette Andersen was once a rising star, known for her standout performance in the 1982 film Savannah Smiles. The precocious young actress charmed audiences with her natural talent and vibrant energy, and it seemed as though she had a bright future ahead of her. But like many child stars, her journey took a dark and tragic turn that few saw coming. In the early years of her career, Bridgette appeared in several films and TV roles, often cast as the spunky, lovable child. However, the challenges of transitioning from child star to adult roles were overwhelming. The entertainment industry, which had once embraced her, suddenly had little room for the young woman she was becoming. With few opportunities and little guidance, Bridgette struggled to navigate life outside the spotlight. Her personal life became even more turbulent as she fell into the grip of addiction. Her struggles with drugs, particularly heroin, consumed her in a way that no career could counterbalance. Despite the promise she once held, Bridgette found herself trapped in a cycle of addiction that would define her final years. On May 18, 1997, at just 21 years old, Bridgette Andersen was found dead of a heroin overdose. Her untimely death was a heartbreaking end to a life filled with unfulfilled potential. Bridgette had been just on the cusp of adulthood, but the pressures of fame, coupled with her personal demons, took her life before she could fully find herself. Bridgette's story remains one of Hollywood's lesser-known but deeply tragic tales. She was a young star with so much promise, yet her life was stolen far too soon by addiction. Her legacy serves as a poignant reminder of how fragile the lives of child stars can be, and how the price of fame can often be too high for those unable to navigate it. Fame at a young age may look like a dream, but for many of these child stars, it became a nightmare. Their stories are a powerful reminder of how fragile childhood can be when it's lived under a spotlight. What do you think? Were these tragedies preventable or an inevitable cost of early fame? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, please like, subscribe, and share to help these stories be heard. And don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss more deep dives like this.